Hey everyone, well, got kind of update on my 90 Toyota truck 4-wheel drive. Well, pretty much, yeah, I got a text message. I'll have to check that in a moment. Pretty much the clutch is just totally worn out on it. I mean, it was the worst one I ever had. I've had a couple back clutches. Probably due to four-wheeling and stuff, but this one is just, the RPMs will go through the roof. Just on the flats, normal driving. And if you were to pull hills, you could just smell the clutch burning. I was like, okay, I'm done. This thing's ready to blow up. The thing that sucked though was it went out like 5 miles after I filled it up with gas. $60. That sucks. Anyways, well, with that aside, got new wheels for it. I've had these wheels actually for a couple of years. Yeah, they've just been chilling here. In the basement most of the time because, yeah, I bought them for the 90, but I never had to get new tires for it. So I'm gonna put these on when I put new tires on them, probably in a few weeks at the latest. Got the tires chilling in the living room. The American Racing Gamblers, these rims are extremely hard to find. For whatever reason, they weren't too popular, so sort of hard to find. They're actually in decent shape, aluminum rims. I've always liked these rims, just always freaking have. And here's the radio from the Subaru. It's actually a pretty decent radio. I looked these up on eBay and they're still worth for like over $100. Wow. It even is satellite radio capable. Pioneer, oh gosh. There's the model number, if anyone has any interest. Pretty much the radio works perfect, except for the faceplate sticked. As you can see, it snapped off. It should look like that. So this is going into 90. As soon as I find our faceplate cassette deck, and there's just a total piece of shit. It's just had it. AM doesn't work. The cassette deck doesn't even work. And you know, it's for some reason it gets super hot. I don't think it's going to catch on fire, but it gets hot enough to warm up the cab, and it's hot to the touch, so yeah, it's a typical junkyard radio. It worked. Overpriced junkyard radio. And I'll show you guys the tires I bought. Well, okay, I lied. The next portion of this video is just going to be the old clutch, before I forget about it. Here's the old pressure plate. Sort of worn down there. I don't recall what the fingers do, but I don't recall what they do. They're important, but sort of worn down though. Here, I'll show you this next. All the way down to the rivets. Most worn out clutch I ever seen in person. I've seen videos though where they were even more worn down. And there were even deeper grooves and flywheel. Feels sort of like a record, just not as deep. The clutch was replaced at one point. It's I saw the brand on the pressure plate. Here's a tip when you're putting a new clutch in a car. I know enough where you put the part that sticks out inside there. If you don't do that, when you want to go to bolt this down, you crush this and the clutch is totally messed up before you even used it. I don't know where it is, but it's like an Anco or something. I saw it on here earlier. Here it is. ASCO. Everything else seems fine. That throw-up bearing feels perfect. It's still gooey, but the kit came with a new one, so yeah. The reason why the clutch went bad was a combination of things. One thing was the transmission was leaking oil onto the transmission was leaking oil on the inside, so a little bit splashed up onto the oil probably over time, and you know, wore out clutch. and probably a little bit was driver abuse. I sort of four-wheeled the thing when I got it, and I had a real bitchy parking place because the fucking neighbors when we were trying to get along with them more. And you had to slip the shit out of the clutch every time, and you could smell it burning sometimes. So it's a combination of things. The clutch was never the same after I did that. So, but I can't justify making the neighbors pay for it or even trying because, you know, I wasn't exactly the nicest to it when I got the truck. Anyways, I'm gonna show you the truck real fast. I washed it when I got it back. Here it is. I washed it today. It's starting to rust out a little bit there. I already had my first problem with it since I got it back. That headlight's burned out. Actually, it's this headlight. These headlights are from the '84 Rabbit. Nice and shiny. One of these days maybe I'll fix the scratches. Cleaned up actually pretty easy considering it's been sitting under basically an oak tree for a few months. Even cleaned the inside. The only complaint I had was it had a grease stain in the middle of the seat cover when I got it back. But 10 minutes of simple green and work gets done. Only like 5 squirts. Anyways, on to the tires. And here's the tires I bought for it. Here, let's turn it upside down. Yep. Size smaller, but you know, it'll make the clutch last longer and I don't four-wheel it anymore. It's too damn expensive. $488 worth of tires. Cheapest tires I can get too. If I were to get 31s, it's gonna be like 500 and something. More money than I sold the Subaru for, so. Yep, they're just chilling in the living room. Smelled like a tire store when I first got them. Maybe I'll get these mounted next week. Well, and that's the update on the 90. Pretty much I invested so much money into this thing, and normal people probably wouldn't do it, but you know, I like this truck. This is one of my favorite cars I ever had, so one of these days I'm gonna have to put out its misery. It's just so worn out. And stuff breaks on all the time, I mean. But for right now, I'm just gonna keep it. I can afford it right now. And maybe one of these days I'll just park it and drive it only when I need a truck, just buy a regular car. That's pretty much about it. Over and out.